Tempo is a brand new investing app available in New Zealand, and we're so excited to be telling you about how it works and how you can use it. So in 2023, Tempo conducted a survey with 1,000 Kiwis, and they found that 27% didn't know where to start when it comes to investing. And that's a lot of people. So the great thing about Tempo is that their goal is to take the guesswork out of investing. So when you sign up, they ask questions like, how do you feel about the idea of your investments going up and down? Because some do more than others. You tell them how much you want to save, and they recommend a mix of their funds for you. It's guided investing. So you're getting investment advice from the experts, which is very, very cool. And because they track your goal progress so they can see actually how you're going, they can also recommend that you change your investments and the mix of how you've invested over time, which is really great. So if you would like to try Tempo, you can get a $10 kickstart into your account. And if you would like to learn more about Tempo, you can head to the link in the podcast show notes.
So Soph and I haven't caught up in a while. So this was not the most financy chat podcast, but we did talk about BYD and Tesla, very hot topic at the moment. We spoke about an upcoming IPO and the price of eggs.
Look, in all honesty, this wasn't our most heavy-hitting journalism episode, but a fun one.
Yes.
Many lols.
Yeah.
We'll put in the podcast show notes if you're only interested in finance chat, where you can find that. It's so weird doing like my morning and your evening.
I know, I'm like slowly falling asleep.
Sorry, I know, and I was late by like half an hour. So shit. Like the worst co-host ever. I'll be there in 5. I'll be there in 5. I'll be there in 5. 25 minutes later.
And obviously this is at night, so
you've got nothing to do. You're just sitting there falling asleep waiting for me.
yeah, I had an event today and I was like, oh, should I just record from home? I was like, no, you're in London with the studio. Like, do not be freaking lazy and not go into the studio.
Did you listen to the podcast the last couple of weeks? Did you hear Rachel?
I did. I feel like I'm out of a job.
Wasn't she brilliant?
Honestly, it's so funny because I was like prepping for when I got back to stuff to talk about. And then I was like, oh, no, can't talk about the poppy thing. Oh, no, can't talk about BYD. Oh, no, stealing my thunder. I was like, girl.
Yeah, she did such a good job. I just loved how both of us were like, Vic will be listening to this. You know, we want to make sure this is good. Yeah. We want to make sure we're like factually correct.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all. So this morning I was thinking, how do I say it? I was about to be like, Harris Tapper, friends of ours. And I was like, I mean, they are, but also your sister's brand. And anyway, they're having a sample sale this morning. And I have been putting money into my clothing account for like 6 months and haven't bought anything. So I have like an amount of money that I can spend without feeling really guilty and go and get some new clothes, which I'm so excited about. And one of my friends who was going to meet me there, she was like, what's your budget for today? And I was like, actually, let me go check. And I opened my accounts. And I looked at my clothing fund. Guess how much money I've saved in that account?
I don't know.
£700.
Nice.
So that's like 1,400 New Zealand dollars that I can spend on clothes without being like, oh my God, that's terrifying. How good is that for me?
What if you invest it though? The market's down.
Yeah, I mean, no. See, this is the thing though. I'm like, I don't often spend money on clothes. Like, you know, I don't. Yeah. And that kind of needs to last me for like 6 months of clothes. So I'm leaving it in there for when I need something. It's in a high interest savings account. So it's not like my transactional account. It's getting some interest, but I would way rather have that there than invest in the market now. I'm really happy with the fact that that's money put aside specifically for that.
Yeah.
Don't at me. You bought Miu Miu sunglasses like 3 weeks ago. Sorry. From the girl that never buys anything. Can you be a bit more supportive, please?
No, that is good. That is good. I'm just trying to be your like older, wiser sister, not mum.
But I reckon I'm older and wiser when it comes to budgeting than you.
No, and
like I think
that $1,400, the market is on sale right now, and you're going to go spend it on clothes. Like,
really?
What's going to appreciate in value more over time? Why don't you spend half of it, not all of it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not going there being like, I'm ready to blow $1,400. Like, that's not what I'm doing. Do you think it's stupid having money in a high interest savings account right now?
No. I mean.
But that's kind of what you're saying.
If I had extra cash, I'd be putting it into the stock market right now.
But define extra.
Like instead of spending money on clothes right now, I'd be putting it into the stock market.
But I've got quite a bit of, like, I've got money in my like holiday fund. I've got money in my, are you saying all of that I should really just be putting into the market rather than?
Not all of it. I'd just be a bit more excited to put money in the stock market right now. So instead of being like, oh my God, I'm going to go out for dinner and spend some of my nice to have money, I'm excited to invest that extra amount this month because the stock market's down. So I am over investing in the stock market right now. I'm like stretching myself to invest in the stock market rather than stretching myself to like buy something else because I know this is like these opportunities don't come around very often.
I have my emergency fund. I have my travel fund. I have my clothing fund. Like I've got quite a bit in high interest savings accounts. So I have quite a bit of cash in the bank right now, which I realize it's a buying opportunity in the market. Do you think because it's down that it's an opportunity to put some of that money in, even if I plan on using it in 4 months' time? Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's not like it's
just don't
surplus.
use it.
It has been allocated somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, is it stupid to go and put money that's been allocated for, like, for example, some of my travel money I have to buy flights with. Like, I have to buy flights for a friend's wedding. I just haven't done it yet. So would it be stupid to go and put money in that I need to spend within the next 6 months?
No, sorry. I thought that was like, I would be more like the restaurants and the like clothing allowance and the stuff that like you don't have to have the money for, if that makes sense. You can say no to a few more things. Whereas a wedding holiday, like a holiday and then there's like a wedding holiday, like you have to go to the wedding holiday.
But then what about my beauty account? Because I've got like £400 in my beauty account. It's like, do I choose to spend I need to go get new makeup at some point. Do you know what I mean? Like it's money that it's like it's earmarked for something. It's not like I'm just sitting it there because I think it's fun to have money in that account. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, because now you're giving me FOMO. Should I be putting all of that in?
No, you've got your budget. As long as you're still investing, that's fine. I just think it's more like if anyone has spare money or can afford to be a bit more strict in terms of their spending, you know, maybe they've allocated $400 a month to buy new clothes. It's like, okay, this month I'm just going to do $200 and put the other $200 in the stock market. Do you know, like it's not money allocated for certain goals or certain things. But I really want you to ask me how my Japan holiday was.
Sorry. So sorry. Tell me about your holiday. I would love to hear about your holiday.
It was really great. Thanks for asking.
So yeah, what was the best part? Was your favorite part of Japan?
The food, hands down. Ramen, sashimi, like the lollies, the candy, like the sake, these egg sandwiches, like everything was just like.
Oh yeah, I saw you eating heaps of those. What was that?
They're like clouds. You buy them from the 7-Eleven and they're like these clouds of deliciousness in your mouth. Anyway.
Is it like Tip Top bread?
Yeah. It was funny actually. One night we went out for dinner and I got the currency conversion really wrong. Like the whole trip with the family, I was like, I got this, like, oh no, this is like 300 New Zealand, or like, oh no, let's get this, it's cheaper because it's 20 New Zealand dollars. And this dinner was like small plates. And I was like, okay, I was like, oh my God, this place is so cheap. This place is so cheap. And I just was in charge of the menu and I just kept ordering and ordering. My family's like, I'm full, Vic, I'm full. I'm like, oh no, we'll just throw in another. Yep, cool. Yep, we'll get one of those. Cool. Don't know what it is. Anyway, got the bill and I was like, nearly fell off my seat. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I completely got the currency conversion wrong. And so like these small plates that I thought were $3.60 New Zealand were $36.
No.
And my sister was like, yeah, I was wondering why you just kept ordering like willy-nilly. Like, and I was like, oh my God, why did you guys not say anything? And then, yeah, it was quite embarrassing. They're like, oh, the girl that does numbers for a living, you know. I was like, oh gosh.
Oh.
That was a bit of a F up. The other thing I noticed, which is kind of related to this podcast, is like the number of old people in Japan that were working. And it kind of got me thinking. I was like Googling, like, why are there so many old people working? You feel so sorry for them. You like look at them and you're like, you should not be pushing that thing, or you should not be serving that customer at that till. That you should be sitting down enjoying the later years of your life. And it's because.
Well, how old are you thinking? Like, is this plus 80 or?
Yeah, these are like 80. These are visibly old people. You know, like you're genuinely like do you need some help? Yeah, and it was just because of the lack of like retirement and superannuation funding there, as well as like people just wanting to be part of society and not be excluded and marginalized. So they want to keep working to be stimulated. So it was quite interesting. Well, for me personally, it was quite noticeable.
But I think what you just said, they're two very, very different things. Like if someone's choosing to work because they want to feel part of society, that's different.
Yeah.
If they're having to work because there's not better government funding or programs like KiwiSaver, Super, Pension, and they get to, you know, what should be their golden years and they're not able to stop working because they have to afford to keep paying for their life. That's super different to wanting to feel a part of society.
Yeah. There's also a big thing in Japan with an aging population. So there is more older people than younger people, and there's more older people than in other countries as well. So it was like very obvious, if that makes sense, the number of older people. But the one thing as well, I was at Tokyo Station. So let's put this in perspective. Japan is the size of New Zealand.
Oh my God, hold on a second. Is this what we talked about on the workshop on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Before I get to the story, I've got one other story that you're going to...
Oh my God, this is so fun. I want to be doing a whole Japan breakdown.
You're going to kill me for this, and I honestly don't even want to stay on the podcast. You know, like it was a bit of a rush to go on this holiday. My mum was at me being like, what accommodation should we book? My sister's at me being like, what restaurants? And I just didn't have capacity to think about it. And it wasn't until I literally got on the plane and I was like, right, okay, now I'm like on holiday and I can actually think. And anyway, so it was like poor planning on my part. And we did the first 3 days in Tokyo. Then we went skiing. But this is like the fourth day. We're like up the mountain and I'm about to ski down this mountain. And I'm like, holy shit, I didn't get travel insurance.
Victoria
I know.
Harris. I mean, like, that's not even, can I just say, if you were going for like Paris for a weekend, one thing, but skiing on a mountain,
I know.
that is like danger zone.
And then part of me tried to be like, well, no insurance company would insure me because I'm going skiing. And I tried to like...
That's so not true, by the way. Were you then just skiing like a total idiot, like trying to be like, oh, no, can't go over that lump of snow?
I was so scared.
Because you can't get insurance once you're there, right? Like once you're on the trip, you can't be like, oopsies, forgot that, need to get it.
Yeah.
Like you can't get it midway through.
And the first few runs, I fell over and like got this massive bruise on my ass. And I was like, cool, awesome. And then later on that day, someone skied into me and like wrenched my thumb back and broke my pole. And I was just like,
God.
Yeah, my pole just broke in half.
That's quite intense.
I know. And then he just skied off. I was like, cool, mate, thanks. Dad was fuming. Yeah, so the whole ski trip, I was kind of a bit on edge. And I remember the last run of the holiday, I was like, yes, I made it. No injuries. Amazing. And then, you know, tottled off to the airport, said goodbye to my dad, went to the gate to jump on the plane. And I turned to the people next to me at the gate and I was like, is there a reason we're not boarding? Like, is the flight delayed? And they were like, have you not heard? Heathrow's on fire. And I was like,
insurance. Oh my God, you didn't have insurance.
And I was like, I was this close to getting away on the holiday with no travel insurance. I was like, damn you, Heathrow. Damn you.
Oh my God, what did you do?
And everyone was like rebooking flights. And I was like, I don't have insurance. So I literally had to wait for 30 hours and for the flight to be rebooked.
In that situation though, does the airline give you a new flight because it's their muck up?
Yeah. But if I had travel insurance, I could have cancelled my flight. That would have been refunded to me. I could have booked a new flight, maybe to Paris and then trained down, or like, you know, like if I had to get back, or if I had to get back to London for something super important that I missed, like a concert or something, then that would be refunded. You know, like there's lots of things that travel insurance will reimburse you for.
Victoria Harris, that is the lesson of a lifetime, isn't it?
It was quite like a nerve-wracking holiday. I don't think I'll do no travel insurance again. It wasn't relaxing.
Can you please tell the airport story?
Oh, yeah.
We've got to tell the airport story.
So when we were in Tokyo and we were navigating, we had 11 suitcases between me and my 4 family members. We're in a city of 11 million people. It's commuter time. Like it's 9 a.m., rush hour traffic at Tokyo Station. People are flying past us. We're trying to read these Japanese characters. There's noise on the loudspeaker. We have no idea. Our tickets aren't working to get through the gate. We're like going through with 2 suitcases, getting half stuck. Like it was a shit show at its best. And I was yelling at mum's yelling at dad's like, it was just like this scene out of a movie. It was quite hilarious. My sister's kind of laughing. And then I turned around and I was like, I could see these people waiting. And I was like to these two girls, I was like, you guys go. I'm sorry, we kind of just a bit frazzled. And they're like, no, it's fine. I was like, no, please go, like, please, like, we're going to take forever. And they go,
just begging them, like, please do it.
They turned to me and they're like, no, sorry, we just want to say we love the podcast. We're big Curve fans. And a part of me just died. I was like,
you're like, this is not good for brand awareness.
This is not good brand advertising. And also I was just instantly, I was like, oh my God, hi. Meanwhile, mum's still yelling at me being like, hurry up, Tor. And then like my sister's losing her shit because she sees what going on. Dad's kind of a bit deaf, so he doesn't really know what's going on.
Oh, it's so good.
Meanwhile, all these Japanese people are like, can you guys stop having conversation in the middle of the train? So it was just like so hilarious. Anyway, and then I was trying to like wheel my bags. And I was like, so are you guys coming skiing? And they're like, no, we're just going home. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, kind of didn't even know what to say to them. But shout out to those two girls for having so much patience. I am so sorry I didn't get your names.
Oh my God, that is so
You definitely
funny.
lightened the situation between me and my family because it was like this close to all of us losing it with each other. And then
Sometimes that's a good thing, but actually I know exactly the point in the holiday you're talking about where it's like stress levels are here. You start behaving like a teenager and everyone is just like tired and had enough, and it's just like if anyone that you knew saw you in that state, you'd be embarrassed, let alone someone that you hadn't actually met before.
And like I don't know how long they watched me for, to be honest, like that's,
oh God, I can't. It's so awkward.
Yeah.
I can actually also just imagine you like frazzled.
I know. And then being like,
oh, that's so funny.
Oh my God.
Like immediately turns it on.
Yeah.
So what do you invest in?
Just like, in the middle of the station. What do you invest in? Anyway.
Should we maybe talk about something that's to do with the news?
No, now I know that you and Rachel, my Southern co-host, spoke about BYD.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a bit of an update because they've had a financial result and it's kind of the talk of the town at the moment because it's been competing with Tesla for a number of years now. So they've had a financial result and their revenue has beaten Tesla's revenue for the first time since 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're the biggest electric vehicle car maker now in the world.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shame Elon.
Yeah.
What's their share price done? Obviously it's gone up.
Share price has gone up. And obviously we all know what's happened to Tesla's share price. That's been going down because Elon Musk has been distracted by Trump. But the thing with BYD, so all these car makers, so like VW, Ford, like BMW, they've all tried to transition from being automotive manufacturers, like combustion engine manufacturers, to electric vehicle and hybrids and all of that. Whereas Tesla's kind of come up the gates being like, we are electric vehicle first. But what BYD has done is they are now the first major auto car maker in the world that's made that transition successfully. And that's really, really important because it allows these other car companies or gives them hope or like, shows that it can be done.
Well, it's also like, it's kind of, I guess, similar if you were to look at like traditional banks versus like neo-digital banks.
Yeah.
It's harder to have a really beautiful technical experience from like an app and blah, 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 if you're more of a traditional bank, because it just takes longer to implement change if that's not how you've always been run. And similarly with the EV space, it's like EV first, i.e. Tesla, you kind of would just always assume would be ahead of other car companies because they started in that space. So you would think their innovation would always be quite far ahead of a traditional car brand. So the fact BYD's proved that wrong or like different is amazing.
And that's a really good example with the banks. If you've got some real old archaic system or product and you're trying to change that into a new innovative thing, it's going to take forever. Whereas if you're kind of starting out the gates with the new innovative thing, it's much easier to grow and scale and get people on board and get investors and all of that. So yeah, that's a really, really great example. But the key thing with the issue with BYD is that it is a Chinese car manufacturer and getting those cars out of China and into big European or US countries is what's hard now because there's so many tariffs on those cars. So they're going to really struggle to kind of grow globally, particularly in the US, which is the biggest market. And that could really, really limit, cars that are made in China, or the growth of cars that are made in China.
Like, what did the share price do? Because when you first started speaking, I was like, oh, surely the share price is through the roof because that's amazing. But are there people that are thinking, oh, nah, because like if we actually look at the fact that tariffs are there now and it's really hard for them to get international scale, maybe investors are like, well done, but also I don't see you being able to beat Tesla long term.
Nah, it's still done fantastically well. Like this year, it's up 45% and Tesla's down nearly 30%.
Shit.
So long BYD, short Tesla. No, I would be doing the opposite.
What do you mean, like buying Tesla, not BYD?
Yeah.
I think I want to do both.
Yeah, buy both.
Because I feel like BYD, like I have no doubt that Elon, as much as I'm totally throwing him in the trash, like he will turn it around.
Yeah.
I just know that he will.
If the share price keeps falling, there's going to be like shareholders will start getting really pissed off and blame it on.
And do you think he'll get biffed out?
No, I just think that they'll get really vocal and aggressive towards the board about what are you doing because Elon Musk is spread so thin. That's what the conversations will be. They're like, he's now in politics, he's got SpaceX, he's got Twitter, he's got, they'll start, if the share price keeps falling, then there could be repercussions from a CEO standpoint. But he owns the majority of the shares anyway, so getting himself ousted will be difficult. But the thing with BYD is that it's actually quite hard to invest in for New Zealanders. We can, because it's a Chinese company and Chinese companies are not available in Sharesies. It's kind of like a derivative of BYD. It's like, it's not the actual stock, but it mirrors the stock essentially. So you can invest in it.
What is it?
If you look up BYD on Sharesies, it'll come up, but it just looks a bit funny. It's not like the nice clean ticker of BYD that you would normally see, but this is still the same stock. This is the thing with Chinese companies. It's just a little bit difficult, but still doable. Just like with LVMH, like the European stocks, that wasn't available in Sharesies, it's only available in Hatch. So when you start investing outside the US, New Zealand, Australia on Sharesies, it gets a bit tricky. And there is a new company coming to the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh my God, fun. Who? What?
StubHub? Do you know StubHub, the ticketing company, ticketing resale company?
No. Oh. StubHub.
So it's...
Sounds like Stubbies.
Yeah, no, it's like stubs as in like ticket stubs.
Not into the name,
no.
But...
Anyway, it's been around for a while, but it's where you can resell and exchange your ticket. So kind of like a Viagogo. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your Viagogo I always think is a scam.
I know.
I'm always like, oh no, I've ended up on a weird scam website.
Yeah. Or you're just like, please, you go to the concert and you're like, please scan. Yes.
Please go through. Yeah, that happened to me at Laneway. They were like, sorry, your ticket's not working. I was like, Jesus.
You know what? If I was that ticket person at the gate, I'd be like, I feel sorry for you. I'll just let you in.
Nah, I basically just hovered there and then the lady in front of me sort of forgot what was going on. They were like, what are you, VIP or normal? And I was just like, normal.
Oh my God, that happened to me at a concert in London. All my friends had VIPs and I didn't. And I was like, I'll just come with you guys in the queue. And then we were kind of getting shuffled in and tickets getting scanned. And they were like, how many VIPs? And I was like, 5 instead of 4. And they scanned them all out. Like, oh, you're not VIP. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I know. They're like, okay, well, just make sure you don't go into that queue. I was like, oh yeah, okay, because I'm not going to go into that queue. And then I was like, that is the worst thing to say.
Like tottling along.
Yeah.
There is nothing more embarrassing though than being told you are not in this queue or you do not have VIP or you're not allowed in here. Like it's so shameful.
When we were younger getting into bars that would do that. They'd be like, just come here, walk up to the front with me. And I'd be like,
oh, I can't.
I would die.
I so can't.
And usually they'd get in and I wouldn't. And then I'd have to go to the back of the queue and just wait with all the plebs. And I was just like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it was the most shameful thing watching someone try and get in and then not, and then have to walk back to the end of the queue. But anyway, speaking of tickets, so this company's going to launch its IPO on the New York Stock Exchange.
So this is an IPO. We haven't had many IPOs like that you've reported in a while.
No, we haven't. It's a really good point that you make, Sophie, because a lot of IPOs.
Sophie, I have not heard you use my full name in a long time.
It is a reflection of the market. Like usually IPOs will be paused when the market's kind of shitting itself, because it's like selling your house when the property prices are really good. Like you want to get the best dollars, the best demand, the best price for the thing that you're selling. And so if you're selling your shares on the stock exchange, you want to make sure that it's in an environment that's really positive and healthy. And so that's, we've seen a lot of IPOs kind of be paused or just wait till we get better market conditions. But
my God, do you know what? An IPO is kind of like a bar mitzvah for a company. It's like a coming of age, or like a welcome to society ball for the company. Yeah. It's like, here I am, I've been in my tween years and now I'm coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want as many people at the party. So I want to do it at a really, really good time. So they did try an IPO last year in July and they paused their plans and now they're kind of restarting. And it was one of the reasons is that they had this huge bumper year because of Taylor Swift. So her Eras tour.
Do you mean a stumper year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I hate myself. Sorry, can you keep going?
Oh my God. They decided to shake off their IPO.
We are on fire today. This has been so fun.
Yes. So they have decided to reignite those discussions. Anyway, they have actually spent, so the thing with IPOing is you lay your financial results out for everyone to see.
Naked body.
And this is why, some companies won't IPO because they don't want their competitors to see
their landing strip.
What their revenue is. Their what?
I said their landing strip.
Yep, they don't want oh my God.
There's nothing wrong with the landing strip. I don't know why I said that.
Oh my God, that reminds me of in Japan, the onsens.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Yeah, where you have to go naked.
Oh, do you have to go naked? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's like culturally you have to go naked.
Oh my God, you had a naked onsen with your family?
No, we got back from a day of skiing and obviously we were like, your body's sore, like you haven't skied in I haven't skied in years. And I was like really excited for an onsen and Mum comes bounding into our room and she's like, who's ready for an onsen? And me and my sister look at each other and we're like, absolutely not. Like I could not think of anything worse than sitting in a spa naked with my sister and my mum.
Wait, so she was suggesting it?
Yeah. And I said, absolutely not, Mum. And she got really upset. And I was like, I'm not going with my sister either, like you go first and then my sister can go and then I can go. And it was such an experience. It was like, oh my God, this is such not finance chat. Anyway, my mum went first. And we're like, so what's it like? There's like protocol. Like you go in, you have to take your shoes off outside, you put your clothes in the cubby hole, then you have to like wash yourself with these buckets and use soap, and then you can't splash anyone, you've got to crouch down. Like there's this whole thing, and it's like culturally, they really explain how to do it. And you take your basket and anyway, Mum went, she comes back and she tells us how it went. She's like, yeah, and there's soap there, there's soap and shampoo and stuff that you use to wipe your body, and then you get into the onsen. And I was like, okay, cool. Then I went and I was like, cool, okay, yep, there's some soap, just wash myself, yeah. And then get in the onsen, it was so hot. And then I came back and then my sister went and then she's like, the soap's like not free to use. You have to take your own soap. And I was like, no, but I was like, oh my God, I just was helping myself to someone else's soap. And there's this lady and she was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I was just like, using her soap. And she's looking at me like, that's mine. And I was just like, tried to look like I knew what I was doing, and I didn't.
Oh, I can imagine. You're quite good with the fake confidence, here I am, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, nice.
100th onsen. I've been to so many.
Oh my God, I can't believe your mum suggested a family onsen.
Oh my God,
so
I know,
funny.
absolutely not.
Okay, back to the finance chat. This has been so low on finance chat. Sorry, everyone.
Really low on finance chat. But yes, anyway, StubHub. So they spend So when you that's where we got onto the naked chat. When you IPO, you expose yourself, you're naked, your financial results are for everyone to see. And one critique of StubHub is that it spends 50% of its revenue on marketing.
Whoa.
Yeah. So for every dollar that comes in the door, 50 cents goes back into marketing spend to help it grow, which is ridiculously high. And so there's a lot of criticism around, it's having to spend a lot to grow a lot. Also, there's been, exactly what you said, Soph, around the fact that it's just full of scammers and all of that. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes, but it's good and it's healthy to see a companies coming to market and IPOing. It's a sign of a healthy environment, healthy economy. So yeah, hopefully we see more. We've got Klarna coming this year as well.
Oh, that's quite exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
I wonder how that will go.
Other news, Lululemon also had a result this week or last week.
Can I guess? Are they doing shit? I just don't see anyone wearing Lululemon anymore.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I used to be like, oh, that looks nice or she looks good. And then I'd be like, you'd see the little Lululemon logo. Whereas now I'm like, oh, that's a cool set. And I see and I'm like, oh, I don't actually know that logo. Or it's like, it's not, more often than not, It's not Lululemon. Whereas, and it's exactly right. Their share price is down 10% this year and it's fallen again after this result. And it is, you're right, exactly because of
just so much competition.
Yeah, especially that brand Aloe. Do you know that one?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I've seen it a lot.
Have you been into a Lululemon store lately?
No.
It's like what used to be yoga and, yoga tops. It's like they're trying to go more like streetwear and it's just, like casual pants and tops. I don't know, it's just weird. You're kind of like, oh, am I in like a streetwear shop like
Nike?
Or am I in a yoga? Because with yoga, there's only so many iterations of yoga pants you can do before you.
Are they having a bit of an identity crisis maybe?
I think they're kind of clutching at straws, to be honest, trying to find growth.
Yeah, I was thinking this the other day when I was in a class and I honestly was looking at all the brands and I was like, don't know what that is, don't know what that is. I kind of know what that is, but there was just so many different brands and it's weird. I didn't necessarily think of it in a investing sense, but I just thought there's just so many brands now. There was a while there where Lululemon was the absolute go-to, and everyone had it, and it was like hard to find any alternatives. Now there's just so many,
and that's what you find with a lot of successful categories or like in small industries. Like if we take RTDs, for example, like Pals found a niche, really, really grew. And now there's like all these other drinks that are super similar coming to market.
So many.
They see the growth that this one company's had and they're like, oh my God, we want to be a part of that. But everyone's thinking that at the same time. And then you're like, it's kind of like this rat race. And so I think that's what happened with Lululemon was they had this like massive head start and everyone's like, oh my God, athleisure, let's get in that. That's such a booming industry. And then you have these floodgates of like so many other athleisure brands.
And I guess the thing is it's like it's positive to be the first out the gate, but that doesn't mean that someone behind you can't overtake. Like because they were first, you can actually do it better. And so you would always be like, it's the same with Uber. Like when you start thinking about all of the competitors that have come out, whilst Uber is still killing it, there's no reason why someone else couldn't come, take the same idea and do it better. You could.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's the same with EVs. It's kind of like what we've just talked about with Tesla. Like there's all these other brands now that are like, actually, you reckon you've got a good product? We've just created a battery that charges as fast as when you fill up the car. Like, that's huge. And just because you're first out of the gate doesn't mean you're the one with all the innovation.
No, you've got to keep innovating. And like that's what like Nike, for example, like they spend a lot of money on research and development, marketing, innovation, like because they realize, they are the kind of global sports brand, but you've got to stay there. You've got to, to be able to maintain that position, you have to keep innovating and looking at trends and doing all that. You can't just rest on your laurels. And is it laurels? Morals?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't like that saying. Like, where are your laurels? Is it?
What is a laurel?
Like, I don't know, but I feel like it's masculine. Like, I feel like a laurel is like ball sack or something.
Or your butt. Rest on your laurel.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll look that up later.
Yeah. But yeah, so you've got to.
If anyone knows what laurels are, can you please comment wherever you're listening to your podcast? We'd love to know.
We'd love to know. And lastly, the price of eggs.
You're kidding. Are we reporting the price of eggs?
The price of, honestly, it's actually quite hilarious.
Really?
People are smuggling eggs across the border. They're smuggling them in their suitcases.
No.
They have gone from about $3.
Well, as if you can get a case of eggs like successfully across a border. Like, I can't even get them home from the shop without smashing them all.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, neither. I was in Japan. We had this. No, actually, there's like this tradition. There's like these onsens where you go in as a human and you like warm up and you like, it's great for your joints and everything. And there's onsens outside where you cook eggs. And so like you go and buy a packet of eggs from the supermarket and you put them in and they get these like soft boiled eggs. You keep them for half an hour and you come back and they're like the most delicious.
Oh my God,
eggs.
I can't wait to go to Japan. Like, this is just a massive advertisement for Japan.
Yeah. And yeah, that was not a secret. But like anyway, I got a packet of 6 eggs from the supermarket and put them on the counter and was ordering a coffee. And went to pay for it on my paywave of my phone, and my phone dropped and like smashed all the eggs. And I was like, oh
No.
So eggs are the most annoying thing. But yeah, anyway, price of eggs in the US have gone from $2 to $10. The shelves are empty. Shops are just not stocking them because they're so expensive. They're coming out of cafes and restaurants. Like, there is literally an egg shortage epidemic.
Why?
Because of bird flu has wiped out a whole lot of hens. But also Ozempic. Ozempic people are eating higher protein and snacking on eggs, which is quite wild. I was like, this is the culmination of 2 things, probably more the bird flu, definitely.
Someone said to me the other day there's going to be like, I don't know if this was you or someone else, but like 200 million people in the US on Ozempic, and like or a quarter of that. I can't even remember what it was.
25 million. Yeah.
It was ridiculous amounts of people.
It's fascinating. I love reading the flow-on effects, like Levi's no longer having like XXL jeans. They've cut down because there's like no one buying them. Like they're getting rid of plus size clothing, and just there's now like 40. Like, it's crazy. All they like
Flow-ons from it.
Yeah, and gyms are getting rid of cardio machines and putting in more weights and strength, because apparently you lose there's a lot of muscle loss. So it's like you have to strengthen your body again, which I don't know. There's like all these flow-on effects, which I'm just like, it's crazy to think there's probably trends or things or flow-on effects that we haven't even realized are going to happen yet. Do you know what I mean? But
it's wild.
Eggs, yes, are being smuggled. It's actually illegal to smuggle eggs across the border. So people are getting pulled up. It's a 200% increase in egg seizures across the US-Mexico border.
And seizing the egg. Sorry, I thought you said egg seizures.
No,
whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen my friends in America posting, like my friend got her hands on a carton of eggs and she posted it on social media and she was like, oh my goodness.
Do you know what this is? Just get your own chickens, everyone. Get some chicken. I'd love to have some little chooks.
Raise your own hens. I'm going to start a little
chicken farm.
No, I'm going to send eggs from London to the US.
There's no way I can I honestly will just end up with a big pool of like gross broken eggs. I won't be able to smuggle it.
Scrambled egg. So that was all I had. Sorry, this was not a very financy.
I feel like it was so fun though.
Yeah. Good to catch up.
We'll be back next week with some more, heavy hitting journalism.
And lesson of the day, kids, everybody get travel insurance no matter where you're going, especially if you're going skiing. Do as I say, not as I do.
And invest any of your spare money in the stock market while it's on sale.
It was so funny. Me and Flower Man were driving the other day and we were talking about what is a meme for your work life? And it's kind of like you say, we're essentially just paying each other out. And he starts laughing and I was like, well, you have to tell me. And he's like, what's that saying? Those who can't do, teach. And I was like,
quite good from him. Quite good from him.
So yeah.
What did he get though? Surely there's so many for him.
I was like, wanted to be an athlete, but didn't quite.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, there was lots. Yeah.
Something about being a dad, like, or dad jokes, but not having any children. Don't you reckon?
Oh, yeah. No, I was
you
more
know,
like
like the
just
sort of the dad humor.
talks shit for a living, or like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, I was about to say see you soon, but I probably won't.
No.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for listening to The Curve Weekly. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all the money, biz and stock market news. And if you like what you heard, we would love a review. Thank you.
Yes, we would love a review, but if you
Only
did
the
hate
one.
it, please, don't leave one if you hated it. No, but in all seriousness, could you please leave a review? Because it really helps other people find our cute little podcast.
And we hope you have a good week and see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye. Sweet. Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Lol. See you next Tuesday. I mean Monday.
No, actually, though, new episodes out every Tuesday. Okay, quickly. The Curve was created to empower and educate you about investing, but we are not financial advisors.
Our platform exists for educational purposes only, and it doesn't provide personalized investing advice for your individual needs and should not be relied upon to make an investment or financial decision.
And always remember to do your own research before making any investment or financial decision.
We're here for any knowledge and support you need, but the final call is always yours.
And thanks for being here.
You got this.
Yeah, we know you got this.